All right. We're live just on YouTube, not TikTok. You have to excuse me, guys. I'm feeling I got hit with that pollen. My allergies are I can't hardly breathe. I can't breathe through my nose right now at all. I woke up this way. Oh, Raymond. Enjoy, dude. I saw those tickets. All right. What a bounce. I think last week we talked about how close these levels were, right? In Q. So NQ came off. Oh shit. NQ almost fucking went all the way. It literally, yeah, it hit right at that 50% mark. So it makes sense that we're seeing a bounce. Spy. How was everybody's weekend? Hmm, it's kind of wild. Spy didn't really move up much at all. Okay. So mission one today for the short side is to see 244.60 lost. Oh yeah. Well, that's good. Kristen, what is that? Ooh. Oh, that's sick. Good morning. Good morning. No TikTok live, man. I'm not feeling 100% right now. I don't feel like sick. I just my allergies are fucking lit right now. I should probably take a Claritin. I just have to limit where my attention goes right now. That might be worth the hour wait though. That's good stuff. All right. So if I sound out of it, it's because I snorted about 25 lines of pollen. Apparently, a metric ton, possibly, is what went into my system yesterday. We're just having a hard time handling it. All right. Stinging. I'm about to make some tea and all that other stuff, but I just didn't have time this morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, well, let's get this started. So first of all, we did see a bounce on RTY, and futures again kind of helping us with the targeting system. But we did end up overnight tapping that 24.29. I think we talked about it last night. As a yeah, that candle right there to potentially bounce off of, and then we could potentially see some retest up above, and that looks to be the case as of right now. And leading with RTY, one of the things that you'll notice here is that we're struggling to really reclaim this floor. And it's really this 2500, 2508 area that has the first green candle to your left, while price will likely be allotted to wick up into maybe the 2521 if price can continue over its highs this morning. That's obviously, well, that would be our first rejection point outside of the current one that we're struggling with, which is basically right here at the psychological number or right underneath it of 2500. And again, establishing, short levels. We've got the floor directly underneath us. So it is set up. And one thing I want to say is we do have an inside candle. But what is on IWM rather, see there I go. On IWM, translating this, right? We're sitting on this floor, that 2411. And we do have a gap down beneath us. Plain and simple. On the 24-hour, this is an inside candle, and if you are targeting higher time frame 24-hour levels, and I don't really see this as like a significant gap up above or below anything. So, be prepared for some up and down whippy action, at least possibly at the bell, or rapid movement in one direction, then fizzle, then chop and die, or vice versa. But targets for today is obviously the gap fill, right? 242.50 upon a rejection overhead. I'm kind of banking on that 247.22. If you're looking at IWM here, it's that candle wick from last week. So be looking out for that. And then again with the gap fill, and this is likely going to possibly limit price action or where it's allowed to go. Damn it, son. Hold on a second. Hey, Al. Can't take my YouTube, bro. Yes, baby. Switch accounts. You got it, homie. God bless. Hey. Oh my God. My brain. Little remedies. Yeah, I saw that stuff in Publix. I wasn't sure if I don't know why I didn't grab it, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. 4 hour time frame, 240, basically 244, 243.98. That's where your gap fill is. There's 242.20. So any targets beneath that, and that's what I was getting to here, is 240.38. Not this low, but if we did end up flushing today, again, we are more bearish. Now, really quickly, Powell is speaking, I believe, at Harvard or something. Yeah, 10:30 a.m. He's going to be speaking today, and again, this may or may not have an impact. However, where are you at? So, as of right now, just because this is important, Hormuz traffic is still at a standstill. That was 3 minutes ago. Shipping through the Hormuz Strait remains below pre-war levels despite a small number of vessels getting through. Powell obviously speaking at Harvard. Rubio refuses to say who Trump means by new regime in Iran. German inflation jumps on energy shock, which, again, that's important. It's not maybe important directly to us, but it's affecting the whole world. U.S. will to retake Besant said this morning, or yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but he said the U.S. will retake control of the straits. This is just all talk. So nothing really. Trump adds that great progress has been made in talks with Iran. Trump on Iran, U.S.'s serious discussions with a new, more reasonable regime to end our military options on Iran. I'm not really sure what that even means. Trump says great progress has been made, but Trump also threatened to obliterate all electrical plants in Iran. So it's a little confusing. I mean, if I was in a relationship with somebody like this, I think I'd want out. Um, you're hot and you're cold, pick one. All right. Take a look at SPY here. And I would say that today is likely going to favor the day trader. Be quick, pick your targets, lower time frame, empty space. And there is, obviously, if you're on the right side of the trade here, um, there's room for runners potentially. One thing that we have to do every single morning, right, is even if you may have already done this, is we need to establish where we are at, right? 24-hour candle. We can kind of see this level here, which you held and then retested and closed above. And that's 640.50. And that's currently what we're retesting. Now, typically I look for the first green candle to my left. And we have this wick, which you kind of have not really have, but close to grazing, and 643.07, which is far more, takes more precedence, I think. So that would be target one, right? Or again, when we look at these things, we say that's what needs to be recovered in order for price to move up. Now that doesn't necessarily translate immediately to the lower time frame because this is where that confirmation, right, could change where we have price possibly being allowed to go and hit 644 or right underneath 645, and then get rejected and fall underneath. That's why, obviously having a good stop loss or waiting for higher time frame confirmation is good. That being said, these are areas that we could consider to be rejection points. I do think it's interesting that you've pretty much grazed that wick right there. So we can kind of put that down as the need to recover. Now, translating this down because it's not a 24-hour box, and that's what I do. I trade 24-hour higher time frame boxes. I'm going to go down to a time frame that has boxes or it has structure so we can utilize that or you can utilize that to your advantage today. All right. Now, the wick, again, we've gone over that. We know where that 24-hour is touching that other 24-hour wick. This is structure, right? Not really a box, but recovering or rather holding. Oh, you know what? I might have to give it the floor there. Yeah, you had to close up against it. So I'll leave it like that, but it's essentially 38.45. We'd be looking at SPY not being able to hold onto that floor and the gap would open up. 5 minute time frame, and again, these pre-market boxes are fire. Whenever it's clean like that, that's real shit. Excuse my language, but 50% mark of that wick is typically where you're going to aim. So watch 635.75, and then yeah, of course we'd be looking down at the close. I believe the close is right. Yeah, the close is gonna be right around 633.68. So yeah, 633.77. 5 minute here. So as you notice, right, there's not a ton of empty space up here. So if you're playing with ODTEs, you're gonna, keep your risk about you, but having a little bit of expiration to deal with that if you are trading SPY. Did I already go over IWM? I think I went over the cues. Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah. So overnight, and it was these wicks. Again, taking a look at NQ, and on NQ, man, if this is any, uh, this is an indication that price could hold itself up. Um, One of the areas of concern, and it's still going to be of concern today, is going to be this one. And that's basically where we're directly what you're up against, because you do have a pretty major retest level at this floor directly up above you, which translates pretty much across the board. We hit that imbalance overnight, right? So putting us back up and over some of those areas that sellers controlled, that's where price is at. So translating that to the Qs this morning, it doesn't translate that well, right? At least in terms of like structure recovered, because we have only held, and that's kind of where you have to move down into this 4 hour time frame and literally go and look like this, right? And I would expect 569. So what I'll do is oftentimes when I do not have any structure, or again an empty space, I'll look at that box or structure that we're moving through, and I'll actually look for these same price points. And this is again when it's confusing or not clear. Amazon looks good. Yeah, I'll take your guys' request in just a second. I feel a little and forgive me guys, I feel just, I know everybody in here has had allergies before, at least I think so. I feel like I just did a fat line of pollen. I basically slept in bed with a pine tree last night. Piney and the Pine Saw Lady. So again, I want to emphasize I don't really see like, we do have empty space on a higher time frame, which is always important, but I don't really see any sort of major, again, if we can get above basically 570 today, that's where I would target 573.50, no problem. But this does, and I'll leave it at this does have a setup to become a box. I've already measured the range here to here, and we're already sitting on the 50% mark of that. So if we find an area of rejection, but I think today is going to be on the ETFs more of what's going to happen. If you're looking at this for a longer swing, or if you're looking for direction, take your time, be patient. Higher time frame levels translated down to like the 15 and the 30 before you take those longer expiration positions. Remember what you're doing today. All right, now let's take a look at really quick at Tesla, and then I'll take a look at whatever you guys want me to take a look at. So Tesla being, again, pretty damn close to that floor overnight, definitely has found itself bouncing, or has bounced, leaving a gap behind, which, yeah, not a bad thing. Um, However, you are sitting on top of a range. So it might be better to look at individual equities today. And 367, right, is going to be step one on the hourly. The 24-hour, you're just inside candle, right? So you can start marking out like the wicks. 24-hour candles like serve to provide uh, solid lower time frame levels. I mean, they translate really well. You can see that here. So we could say 367, right? That is our overhead resistance today on Tesla. I Yeah, that's all I literally see to the upside. Now you have like a little micro pocket of empty space in here and a target of 368.80. So you can kind of see how this is a little bit clearer than the ETFs, just in terms of where you're at, moving it down to the 5 minute, cleaning up the box, yada, yada, yada. And now we can kind of see price playing with that over or 50% mark. I'll go ahead and give this a range because, again, losing 50% of anything is likely going to drive price down. And I'll do the same here on the 5 there because I will be watching this on the 5. 15 and 20 minute today. Like that. All right, let's run down this list real quick. Trump sounds like he's threatening an ex-girlfriend with all this. Yeah, I don't know, but the new regime, I'm a little confused by that, man. The allergies are awful right now. Yeah, what is medium high? It's the morning right now. Yeah, oak, cedar, juniper, and elm. Yeah, it's lit. All right. I did a lot of outside work, so and then the birthday party. MU on the 4 hour. Yeah. Let's take a look. All right. Well, you got it, and MU is definitely a beast when it comes to these things. All right. So interesting. You don't have like you have this weird gap right there, and I find that to be pretty. Ooh, that could be good both ways. Even if you are inside of a little range here, that could be interesting. Both sides of that trade. I notice you kind of have lower lows right here, which I don't know. That kind of makes me feel like there might be a rejection here, especially if the market does turn over today. That would likely bring price right back down to the floor. Let's look at the 2 hour. Okay, so this is actually not bad, right? The clearer something is, the more it makes sense, the more you can focus on it, right? Less it makes sense, the more shit that's around it, the less that it makes sense. I see a 371.26 level above you. Now, this is an unusual area. In fact, it'd be probably tough to draw anything above this. So again, dropping down to the hourly, and now we're clear. So I will give this basically this range. So the goal today would be 371.11 if you're looking to the upside, where you could be looking at a 378 and maybe more target to the upside. And again, that's going to rely on semiconductor or just market willing, right? We should see that, inshallah. We should see that price target get hit. Now, rejections are happening right now, so have a plan for both. This is not a great time. I'm just because we gapped up doesn't mean I'm bullish at all. In fact, gap ups and bear markets can be dangerous shit. Because it just kind of leads buyers in and then just yanks them down. So there are, I would say, that 362.50. So you punch through that box, right? And then you've created this new range. That new range's bottom is that old cost basis, it looks like. And for sure there is empty space, but you would probably have a target right around 367.89. Damn, that shit's rejecting right now as we speak. Sheesh. You got some fast fingers, Potter? Okay. I don't know how to take that anymore. You guys have scarred me. I want to just accept that as a compliment, but I think it has a double meaning. All right. What else do we got here, guys? Also, I just want to, yeah, when I'm not feeling good or my head feels like this, I'm not really going to be doing too much trading. Like as much I'm gonna have to because I got some positions to circumvent. But yeah, not gonna be trying to go crazy. Now, if the market's moving, I'm gonna drag my ass and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But I'm gonna be taking low risk positions today. I think I'm borderline on a sinus infection area, but the pressure. All right. So, and Texas, obviously, when we bounce one time and hit a rejection three times, like obviously we don't see the result of this, and there's still a little bit of a high here at 367 that you can go and hit. So, maybe let it tap those things. I was trying to grab the damn green line. Yeah. So like try and let it tap up there around 368 if it does, punch back because it's already retested that 364.40. But it doesn't look bad. I mean, it's take a good expiration if you're taking it down. Um, I mean, you could also take a shorter expiration. I'm not even gonna lie. That's a killer target at that gap fill at 350 250. So there's money to be made there. I might have to join you on that one. I like MU. It's been a long time. All right, Elf shares here. Um, I'm not doing it. Not yet. It's simply retesting the 362.40, and I mean it could even go up a little bit higher, man. But I don't think I was talked about this last night, actually, pretty in depth. If you watch the YouTube videos, or watch the YouTube video yesterday, I talked about where I would want to be buying Elf, and it right now that's 56. At minimum, right? Maybe back where we bought it from in the first place, but um, what does Ulta do? I kind of look at Ulta as like the ETF for makeup right now. There might be a makeup ETF. I just don't know about it. Yeah, let's just say even when Ulta gets back up above 540, we would assume that makeup would start trending, and then we could look at a price going up there. But I honestly could be very, very bearish on Ulta right now as well, with it having one of the. I mean, dude, it doesn't. I mean, it's a pretty big ass drop. So this is an area where we could find some support, but we got holes underneath us, and until we get back outside, that's step one. But step two will be here, and that's where the real meat is. So I will not be buying Elf. All right. It got pushed out of its box already. 24. Well, it certainly has a decent setup for some lower time frame trading and a new high. So let me take a second to share something with you guys, okay? I can predict. I don't say that lightly. If I was on TikTok, I probably wouldn't say it at all. But um, obviously, that was some sort of lower time frame box. Okay, if you see this, where the candles fall loosely, right, or punch down, we can typically rely on price recovering if it recovers 2366 to blow that top off. That's a new high setup because there's very little. Now you can, and I'm always weary of flat, resistances like this. But with it having that empty space, usually I'd be looking for some sort of new high there. Now, targeting wise, brother, don't really have much to offer on the higher time frame. The lower time frame does provide, and this is again, we do what we have to. We do what we must, right, to find the structure that we need, and that would be here and here, right? So 2450 and 2475 would be two targets. Now, getting there, there's a beautiful pocket up to 2319. So there is a trade, potentially available here. Let's see, you got two kind of, this is almost more of a range here, but so this is where you got to be careful, right? This is a big range, right? You box it up, you build it up, you punch through that box. So there's a lot going on here. And I really try to focus on that most recent price action to kind of help, right? And so we could go ahead and come to the conclusion that A, 2230 needs to be punched through, and B, 2250 needs to be punched over. At that point, you would just be looking for clearance over 2270 to get up into that empty space. It's not a bad setup. I actually will probably keep that one on the radar as well. Oh, my head. G-A-I-T-B. I mean, this is a major. This is actually pretty significant. This is a significant level for you to be at, and obviously, you would expect for price to try to bounce. Now, obviously, in these conditions, we'll see how much we get here, but the obvious target on the 24-hour would be around 79, and it's a weekly floor, and you've got pretty much nothing but empty space up above it. So if you're still bearish, right, you're going to find that out on the, or you'll see the levels holding you down here. All right. And then I do see some empty space down there. So careful with that. You've got a small range underneath you. So it looks like A is going to be 77.90. B is going to be 50% of this range, which I'm actually going to go to the 15-minute, and I thought so. 78.13 on this lowered time frame. You're going to have to get through the structure, plain and simple. And I believe a candle close above 78.45, on the 15-minute should do it. But one thing you could look at trying to do to take this is taking it over 77.87, which is basically orb. But that is an interesting level to be hitting right now. AMD. Okay, well that plan's over. No, just kidding. This actually doesn't. This actually kind of is better. For if you're a seller, I wouldn't be surprised if AMD tried to pop its ass. Excuse me. Pop up and hit those wicks at 209.17. Yeah, well, this really happened. Um, So on the 4 hour, we're sitting up against 205.50. A break or candle close outside of that, we're going to give that 205.80. Is going to lead you again directly up to 209, and that is all empty space. So I would be curious. Now moving down to the 1 hour here, it looks like you could be setting up a box. Might be boxy here. Um, this is wow. High frequency people today could probably be looking at speculating on some rejections, but because this is where I would look for a price to potentially reject. Watch 204.97. See what they'll do today is they'll whip it down really quickly and make people feel like they're going to give you that gap fill if it moves too fast, and then they'll whip it up and then punch it back out and squeeze people out for the rest of the day. So be on the right side of the trade. And same thing in reverse. If they try to rip ass directly at the bell, be careful what's above you. So I'm looking at the 15-minute here. I don't really like that floor. Let's go to the 5-minute. Okay, so actually I can see a pretty clear target. This clears things up a whole lot more. Okay, so over 205.98, there's a first overhead target of 206.50. And then at that point, you could see price explode up to 208, 208.20. So, again, to the downside, you have a small 5-minute box right here that you created in pre-market, perfectly aligned, 204.97. Inside of this box, you've got a small range. So here, those are your levels to react to today. So arm rushing down to the top of that box that it had to punch through to get here is a perfect retest. You're going to look at the first green candle to your left over there, and that's going to be your first retest, and that's at 147.20. That would also be apparent on the 30-minute, hourly, 15-minute, that is the level that would need to be reclaimed, and you are, yes, in range on the 15-minute. So yeah, to your point, whatever triggers first, you're moving up in pre-market, and this space hasn't necessarily been filled all the way, but it has been, wicked into, so it might cover that. And then you do have empty space as well to the downside if you were to lose the bottom of that box. I'm sure you're aware at 140.60, and then maybe bleeding in all the way to 135. You got a channel. I don't know if that's the complete channel yet. I think that might be it. So yeah, whatever triggers first. 146.87 rejection. You could try to play the rejection down. Use your pre-market. So you notice your pre-market is basically centerfold right here. And if you can move through that, you probably get that gap fill and then maybe a new low. So you're up against the wicks. Mark the bodies. That would be your next target overhead. And we've gapped up to a resistance. So this is, again, like the last couple of stocks that I've shown you, likely setting up for possibly, again, upon a rejection. Let's look at the 5 minute. Okay, so I'll give you this, right? Amazon above 202.30, you have a clear target to the upside at 203.17. Period. Now, this is going to be the effort to hold on to this floor, and there's explosive price action that happens here. And that I would assume would give you that 205. Now, is this enough, consolidation or bounce in pre-market to make that happen? That would be my biggest questions here today, as you have wicked out, but you haven't wicked all the way up there. So this is going to be, again, market willing. Otherwise, part of me does feel like, looking at some of the other stocks this morning, some sort of range could develop here after, a leg down like that. But read and react. Ooh, my brain. LW up. That's not bad. Yeah, I think we talked about this one for earnings up to $45. Now, it has been known to drop like a hot rock. And so I would say also 38 and 37.20 would be two targets to the downside. It has its fair share of pops too. I think it could see a good pop, but I like playing Nike earnings if it's clear. Oh shit. Is Nike about to fucking dump ass? I see Nike down to $40. Now maybe not on earnings, but just overall there's some pockets down there. Okay, so you're in the middle of basically losing the floor. 57 would be an upside target. I mean, it's not in consolidation, which is, usually my cup of tea is I like to find it in a box and trade it there. Now let's look at the 24-hour. So if you do get a move, and we could look at this closer a little bit later, but 61 at the top, 57 median, and then due to the fact that you're, again, sitting basically right at this wick or right at this floor, you could, yeah, sister in. I see 45.17 and 41.30 on the 24-hour. So why am I not on TikTok? I just didn't want to, man. Um I got really bad allergies right now. My sinuses are not great. I feel like crap. Probably look like crap. I just can only pay attention to so many things at once. All right, I gotta go blow my freaking nose, guys. I'll be right back. Make sure you guys have a plan today. Yeah, Ellie had a great time. The pollen though took me out, bro. Gnarly pullback here for the bell, or at the bell, excuse me. So immediate reaction is down. I gotta take Tesla above 365.27, back up to 367. Nice. Stop loss was entry on that one. 364.65. I'm out. Market sell. Oh, I cannot hear anybody. No. I didn't even know people were talking. Oh shit, my speakers are fucking hooked up to the wrong thing. My bad, y'all. I do. I hate. So much hate. Oh my god. Zebo, you shut up now. Leave Astro alone, dude. It's alright. I got you, buddy. I won't let Zebo hurt you. If I stop out of these Tesla calls here, which I probably might have to here, um, I still have those puts that I swung, so which I'm still green on, but mm-hmm. Yeah, that has a punch down. IWMs are getting it's getting a little heavier here. All right, I'm probably gonna bail out of Tesla. Yeah, there you go. IWM is closed underneath 244.78 here in 1 minute. It's tapping that low. 50% mark there. We're gonna should see a pre-market low tap of 243.89 to the downside. Price will reverse above 244.82. Tesla's likely about to lose this floor. That was a good reversal, but no continuation off of that. It's still bouncing actually and holding its floor at the moment, but it might be short lived. There you go. Go for the gap fill, Tesla. I do not care. I will take that and leave. But I will re-enter Tesla back over 366.11 if we find a bounce on the cues. There's your pre-market low right there. Mm-hmm. Nice. Good retest right there. Next structure just got hit on the Q. Yeah, QQQ. Look at that beautiful box right there. Tapped right off the top of it. You said AMU dropped. Oh, so that was a great rejection, dude. Oh my god, I missed it. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little FOMO on that. I called that to a T. Did you get that? It'd make me feel better if you got it. Oh my god, MU is gonna keep dumping too. MU's got a nasty gap at 340. That is a good. Man, I'm glad I got a good entry on that Tesla because if not, I think I would have gotten fucking fried. AMD. Okay, I'm about to short AMD. AMD did exactly what I look at it. 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 208. Very expensive. Buenos dias, puppy. Yeah, Peyton just said the same thing this morning. Real quick, 204.36 is AMD's break to the downside. And then pre-market box 208.40. That thing shot up straight into that empty space, filled it up, and then dumped right back down. I'm looking at the 200. Yeah, 200 197.50s, so they might get a little cheaper here. Clear that 204.94. I tell you what. Are you still in your Q short? Okay. It, is anybody short on oh shit, I forgot I was short on futures. Jesus Christ, dude. I'm up fucking 3 bands. Oh my god. No, that's not good. I didn't trade on Saturday. Or I didn't trade yesterday. I took trades on the that first funded account, but that's the one that I blew, so I just reset that account. I didn't take a trade on the new one. Oh, there's another one. He said he's also in the files. Uh yeah, I've been fucking around with futures, dude. I just can't. I keep blowing over the fucking profit that I'm supposed to get. Is anybody at IWM short, by the way, or AMD? All right, I'm trimming out of AMD, or excuse me, IWM and AMD. I'm just paying. I just paid more. Oh, I know. Yeah, just I still I didn't put a stop loss on this one because I was in the middle of yapping. Beautiful push down here on AMD. Q's hitting their floors. IWM. I might be worth some runners. Who's in the file? Musk. Big bounce on the pre-market low here. IWM, beautiful setup to the downside. That was a nice punch down. Oh, don't fuck with me, AMD. What was NVIDIA doing? NVIDIA dumped harder. I I trimmed out of IWM, but I'm still holding a little bit on that one. AMD though, I just yeah. I think I did. Yeah. Philip Morris looks great. Yeah, I did look at that one. Yeah. I'm down 1% on AMD, so I'm okay. All right, over that though, I'm gonna have to bail. All right, I'll bail. It's okay. Q's still look super heavy. I'm watching it up here. Looking for a reshort on AMD. Yeah, we do have red folders, but Powell's talking at 10:30. Markets misread Fed as oil spikes fuels rate fears. I'm probably gonna try to re-snag this AMD if it gets back down below that 205. Might just take longer expirations. Aiming for 188. Yeah, I was looking at the 18 days. Oh, that was weird. There we go, AMD. There you go, a little better. I need a loss of. What the fuck is happening right now? I keep. Yeah, I no, I mute the soundboard, but I keep disconnecting and reconnecting. Somebody's digging right now. Yo, what the fuck is happening? I'm gonna turn. Oh, let me turn that off. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm getting hacked. I mean, I don't mind paying more out of the money, with longer expirations because we're gonna move slower. So I mean, like 180s are okay. Yeah, man. IWM's new lows. Watch this point of contact at 245.50 right now. Yeah, I'm getting disconnected too. Is anybody in IWM? If you're in the queues, watch this pre-market low. You're moving to it right now. And that's where I'm looking for AMD to go ahead and break down to as well. Shorter expiration, and obviously this can serve as a longer expiration entry. Like 150% trade to start Monday with a sinus fucking infection. Just lose the low, AMD. AMD's about to remind me why I don't trade this thing. Yeah, IWM's. Oof, IWM. Oh, oh, dude, I'm advanced money destroyer. I'm gonna fight this thing, dude, with my life. I'm gonna go full meta on it. All right, last trim on IWM, and then from here I'll just see what more potential it's got. But trail stop on this one's got to be around 242.77 for me, right there. All right, fuck you, AMD. Get down there. Get down there. Nobody likes chips anyway. Your chips have your chips go to Gooners. That's it by AMD chips. I may have made a unwise decision trading AMD. I was looking at MU and I'm like, well, damn. Nvidia even pulled back pretty hard, but AMD, nah. Of course, it's got a stupid channel right here. Let's fucking go, my guy. Is anybody in USO? Yeah, I know, so I'm asking. I don't like that on AMD. All right, IWM seems to have found a floor. Yeah, it's retesting that pre-market floor right now. I'm watching it. I saw this stupid little channel here on AMD, so not a big fan of that right there. Take it, take it, take it. That's funny. Come on, AMD. If that one pops over this, it's gonna go right the fuck back up. Oh, yeah, my name is Garrett. I'm gonna trade AMD today. Fucking dumbass. I don't believe you. Go here. More. I need more, dude. I don't believe it. I'm numb. The whole gap. It's got a tougher floor at 203. If it loses 203, we're in business. We could see 199.50 potentially, but I took a longer expiration short on this one though too, so I've got layers on it. They're expensive, but I think it's worth it. But dude, I think that yeah, and I think that run is something that you got to wait for that sector rotation, into that. So, Oi. All right, new. Oh, dude, amazing! Almost 200% on IWM here. AMD is hitting those lows. Oh, that was painful. Good to hear you here, man. I missed my little junior. My Pinto? That's crazy. I can neither confirm nor deny. No, oh my god, IWM. Let's go. Is anybody in IWM shorts? Multiple triggers on that one. Same thing with AMD, but this one's just a pain in my ass. I don't know. The higher time frame setup is alluring. I'd love if we fill that gap, baby. We're in fucking business, boy. This gonna be tough. All right, any move over this right here, and if you're still holding AMD, you're being a dork. So, next target I have on IWM is 241. Nice rejection there on IWM or AMD. New low 5. Yeah, it's nice. Nice to see some fluid movement here. Yeah, there you go. Good God, baby. Let's go. Holy shit. All right, starting to get excited now. Tesla did not accept that floor up above and is heading back down underneath 362. Look for a similar move. If you haven't shorted anything, if you're looking at Tesla, it looks like it's a short play possible gap fill here. 360. So one on our way. I'm in NVIDIA and Rocket Lab. Okay. Oh, oh my God. Ugh. What? VRT? Just see the wick at 234.60 and the 231.40s here. Nice new low on the Qs. Fucking I oh my God. What made me decide to trade AMD today? I know it's the higher time frame setup, but I think I called for that pop up to that empty space at 208.50. And after that reversal, I was like, nah, man, this thing's I mean, it might make it there. It's just moving. I'm being impatient actually. I need to shut up. IWM is trying to suck itself back up on that floor at 242. If it does reclaim that floor, might have a chance to go back up and get some retesting done. It does have a perfect structure on IWM for on the hourly. Again, assuming it can reclaim, it would have a perfect setup for a pretty big box and could keep price in there. It's 10 o'clock. Pal is supposed to be talking here shortly, and there's the pop right there. Mind your stop losses. First structure on IWM. Just tapped it right at the 50% mark. AMD keeps hitting 203. Took profit on AMD. Good on you. Weakness. Once things can start getting recovered, and it's again 10 o'clock, like the floor is recovered here. If you start moving through things, that can shift the direction going into the next event. So let's see if we get a actual reversal here, or if this ends up losing its floor. They sink it, dip it below the floor, and then rip it. Ooh, nice rejection on AMD though. Nice. There you go. That's why you have your levels up there, baby. It's going to be a journey here. Once we gain some ground, I'll be less paranoid on it. All right, AMD is holding its cost basis right here. All right, AMD, do it for Poppy. 201.44. No new low, no candle close. I can always get back. If I get stuffed out of these, like, above 203, because I know it's going to pop 203. I mean, I'll probably hang on actually, but if the longer expirations, yeah, once I get out of the shorter expiration trade, that's where I'll vominos and leave those on the table. So, because obviously, the look on AMD is delicious. I mean, this is even today. I mean, waking up in here and rejecting that, oh, that is cream and crop. And then you look at the potential just even to take it to 188. I mean, that's huge. But um, obviously, there's more. So the Qs aren't directly following. They did get a good little bounce here. It looks like off of that. Is that the close? Yep, that was Friday's close. So makes sense. This be about the time where I would Trump tweet some dumb shit. I'm the new Alatola. Yeah. Yeah. Chinese ships exit Hormuz and rare transit to Costco. Linked containers have exited the Persian Gulf. Um, this this Myran guy is talking about inflation expectations not yet affected by higher oil prices. No evidence of inflation shock from oil, and he says no evidence of wage price spiral. No evidence. Interesting. Yeah. Q's kind of keeping it down right now. Not bad. AMD is now getting it's we're about to move here shortly. Keep your eyes peeled for a pop back up to 203.65. If you don't want to hold on, don't do it. Don't No need. Obviously with three rejections off the top, could see a reversal here. What would be nice, and I'll hold through this, is if price does pop up and then punch down through the box that it made, but obviously we need the Qs to follow suit, which looks like they might. that? Oh, no. Out at the top of that box. What is Tesla about to do? And we're curling. Yeah, that's right around where I was looking at it, but that's my no-no square at 204.45. So, and he just did reclaim the floor regardless of that candle. So price is gonna push up. And right here, you want to see it wick right back down like that, and then actually lose the floor. But if it doesn't, it's gonna pop right up here. All right. No, I don't. I could be mad about it, or I could just get out and break even. Vamonos. All right, I'll re-enter. Now, longer expirations, I'm gonna hold on to those, but I tried. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at the 30-minute, dude. This is pretty damning. That's all right. I am mad about it. I nailed that IWM for a fat rack, so. Me and AMD don't have a great history together, to be honest with you. Me and MU, though, I should have fucking focused on that one today. I'll look for re-entry on it, but that kind of curl back up is going to be tough to take that on. I think it's just, right here at 203. That's where you're really short. But my exit is your entry if you fucking took my stop loss. It was a good little trade to the upside here. Not specifically, no. He did just fill up all the empty space. IWM just came off of a rejection of 243.12. I'm not going to get sucked into this one, though, until we see a floor drop, so. Yes. Yeah. But I also took those basically where we're at right now, Kristen, so I'm not really getting affected by that too much. It's 15 minutes until the meeting. And Tesla has retested 3 times now at 365. Starting to think that we're going to see a move on this one shortly. A lot of the times you'll see a drop on this, and that could give you that 360.75 here. I might take a quick scalp on that one. If we drop underneath, let's see here. Yeah, underneath 362.95, there's a drop. Yeah. Um, on the Qs, it is. Yeah, I have a 340, 540 target. 540 and 535. Because on the Qs, man, like this is our next pocket, our next target, empty space that I think gives us a strong move to the downside. I believe we have a pit stop here at 550 shortly, so. I'm looking at 360.75. Tesla contracts are cheap. Er. Yeah, IWM looks like I'm looking at RTY right now, but it looks like a short. Nice. This Tesla bouncing right off that floor. That's three on both sides. Market might pause till Powell. Few minutes here. A lot of empty space to the upside, but with Powell speaking, obviously, he's really the only catalyst we got today. AMD's starting to lose that floor again. Difficult little bugger today. 50% of that candle's been lost. If after his speech, if nothing's happening, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take part and not taking part. Sitting on the wick right now. He's holding IWM. We just tapped the lows at 241.75. Not a big response, but back up above 242.13. That's where things can flip. One minute until he talks. He's been bringing more bearish vibes than anything else. Tesla's creeping right now to the downside. 360 is the only target I have on that one. It's on that floor. Everything just tapped a floor. Doesn't have to. I mean, it does have 368.75 as a retest level up there. No doubt about it. But it doesn't have to, you know. It, well, if they're going to prop it up, a lot of times driving it down is good for them, you know. Yeah. And while that was dumping, you would have been like, well, it's got to go back up, but it didn't. It's the only one that hasn't gap filled this morning, which I found to be, well, not gap, all, well, didn't attempt to go break down to those lows. So if the market does break down, then yeah, that would be a candidate. Yeah, 119.55, basically 119 flat. Yeah, that's it. 3 days of consecutive dumpage. Yeah, sure. If it closes down underneath, yeah, if it can push lower than this, this is where I would reduce risk. But yeah, there is a 112 target underneath you. Yep. Market's been just sitting at these lows here. me slow down on the day trades. I'm gonna die easy. IWM's just tickling the lows right now. Sounds like, yeah, day trading, man, is not for everybody, and that's okay. At least not in the beginning stages. Make money first, and then have a day trading account if needed. Tesla, it's going for those pre-market lows here. Keeping track of Pal's statements here. Tesla's bouncing here. Again, needs to stay below. It can bounce all at once, but it needs to stay below that 362.91. IWM's bouncing. Trying to pop back up above the floor.
I took macro and micro my freshman year, and it wasn't as interesting to me at that age than some other things. So I wound up majoring in politics, actually specializing in Africa. It's fair to say that my freshman major was acoustic guitar. My parents gave me a Martin D35 for high school graduation. They must have regretted that because that's what I was really working on mostly. But I did finally figure out what I wanted to do. And when I graduated from college, I really had no
Talk about the
plan, but I
guitar.
did
That's
have one
bullish.
thought to have a career in the private sector, but also to do public service intermittently. And I was thinking about people like George Shultz, who was famous at many economic jobs, and others who had done those sorts of things. And I grew up in Washington D.C. My parents were not. My dad had fought in World War II, and he had been a U.S. attorney, but they weren't people who were terribly plugged in politically. I was very interested, though, in those years in public policy and in trying to create a life that was partly private sector and partly public sector. And amazingly enough, that's kind of what happened.
Right. So now jumping right to the present, we talk about the Fed as a unitary entity, but of course, the Fed is led by the Federal Open Market Committee. There are 12 voting members.
Break the trigger.
Despite being chair, only have one vote. And in normal times, there's a lot of consensus. Everyone's in agreement. Lately, there's been.
Yeah, he's talking about shredding on the guitar. Okay, good rejection on Tesla there. Refuse the floor. Let's get that new low here. Right now I could start looking at exiting my fucking swing. AMD is back down, by the way, if anybody's in that short. New lows on that one, and gap has been filled. Yeah, I couldn't leave that alone. Yeah, it says the cap fill on AMD. I'm still in those longer expirations. I did tag into the shorter ones, but now I got my hands full. No, I didn't. Oh, oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you, everybody, by the way, who donated to Alex and Ivy. Really appreciate it. It's all good, man. Dude, AMD might actually work out here, guys. Holy shit. I got back in at 203. Well, actually, just a little bit below 203, 203.24. Tesla, there it is. That was fast. Damn, dude, I got stopped out on that first AMD trade, though. That's kind of butt hurt me. All right. I mean, I hopped back in for the, and I held on to those longer expirations because I'm in this for the whole journey. So, obviously with Tesla, you know, if you want to trim, you can. But the positions that I swung over the weekend, I'm going to close some of those out to reduce my risk. Although I do think we could see a leg down to 359.80 if we do break this cost basis. No sign past Fed buying was inflationary. Jesus Christ. All right. If anybody held on to AMD, any AMD to the downside contracts should be up a lot. I have some runners, those ones that we held on to earlier. I hope. Bought those at $57. Those are at, or excuse me, $52. Those are at 167 right now. Don't really have a ton here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just trim 2 off. Lord, he's pushing the retests are happening quick. Yeah, so dude, yo, Tesla with that. Oh my God. Well, that was a quick ass scalp ass trade right there. Rejections happening off the same mark though. The tariff inflation is, what do you say? Is likely one-time price increase. Careful right here, guys. What? I mean, I would say we're not, well, not just retesting, but we popping up to hit some of those levels that we broke down below, and then, consolidation is where I would say we're building. Could be that kind of that sideways consolidation here, but they're not making it easy. Mm-hmm. Damn it. It looks good on AMD though. Tesla's trying to reclaim that floor here. It could be an upside trade on AMD. I'm not going to really take part in that at all. Seems like they are trying to kind of push it in the direction of a reversal here. And, you know, Tesla does have that 368. So if you want to try that one, I'm probably not going to. Or actually I'd take that back. 370 is the whole pocket of empty space here. So that, I mean, that's actually not a bad setup. Over 365, again, that's where this trade really picks up. On what? On what? Right. Yes, we still are. Uh, if you were, yeah, if you were in a longer expiration trade, yeah, for sure. Yeah, your stop losses haven't been triggered. No, for sure. Yeah, no problem, dude. Why is this not working? I'm gonna, if this isn't gonna move, I'm gonna start setting alerts. No point in just sitting here watching all damn day when we're trapped in between what we need to break and what we need to break. And it doesn't mean that you can't sit and day trade if you're day traders. AMD has a potential reversal trade, lower time frame trade there. Dude, MU, what the fuck? Wouldn't be surprised if that thing ate itself up to 260. About what? You gotta speak up, man. I can hardly hear you. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Like, what do I feel about it? It sounds like you're nervous. Dude, you right now, right? Again, mark out those overhead highs that we know we have points of contact on. That is for sure that underneath, right? And you are well below. I mean, and this is the empty space that's, in between two structures, which fills fastest. So you're likely to pause. Now, again, you don't get the promise of the rest of the empty space, right? Until we get a candle closing inside of that mark. So this is where, yeah, you can mark out and say, well, if we cross and recover 120, 160, well, this puts us in a position to maybe go back up. But at the end of the day, right, like you wouldn't want to front run a stop loss on that. You would want to make sure that prices, left 123.40, because if you're going to stop out, you'd rather do it in profit and knowing that price is likely to reverse. So, but as of right now, I mean, if you got in here, you're good. You're fine. So, Tesla's curling up here. Fuck, I missed my entry. Damn, I just missed that on Tesla. Damn, that fucking thing popped right back on the floor. I'm watching it over 365.10. Yeah, it looks good, dude. It really does. Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go. Is that what else are what any other trades that you're in on besides that BE and okay. That was really weird. Uh I don't know how to explain this to you. Crisp has a accent conversion, and I just switched my sound on Discord to my Crisp speaker, and it just converted your accent to an American accent. That was really weird. I just switched it back yeah, I was like, who's talking? No, yeah, sorry. I didn't do that on purpose at all. I was literally just switching. Yeah, it switches. There, Crisp has an AI accent. It converts others. I'm looking at this now. It converts other people's accents in real time. I'm not going to use that. Yeah, he's tough to I don't even think I've ever really I just say yes whenever he talks. Oh, uh, okay. So he's talking, and then all of a sudden I hear an American accent, and I'm not supposed to be alarmed. Like, how did he just switch? No, it was like a tax advisor. Thanks for telling him. Yeah, it was like somebody from Virginia or something. Oh my god. You're fired. Good reversal. Yeah, yeah. No taxation without representation. I'd never sent that to you before in my life, Neil. Neil says I send that to him. I don't send that to him. Don't listen to him. He's always lying on me, dude. Every time. Well, it's too late for Amazon, John. Nice job, dude. Yeah, good expansion right there. That doesn't have any real resistance, so it's taking advantage of it. No, it's not. It's crisp. Look, I'll show you. Look, it's in the beta phase. No, I just sent it in live trading. See it? Yeah, all my sound goes through it. So they all sound white. That's what I've been doing. You guys got me finally. Wow. No, I didn't see that before today. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm watching Tesla. It's at that level though, bro. IWM pulling back here, nice and juicy. I just caught that on futures. Tesla still looks gross, but on the 4. The 1 hour and the 2 hour look kind of nuts, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. What, that bounced just now? Complete reversal off of cost basis on the Qs or on IWM. But this is so perfect for range right now. And plus, guys, we got a lot of data this week too, so Tesla refused. AMD's still sitting at it. Look at that stop right there. Damn. Yeah, AMD's got the movement right now. And MU is just, I don't think this thing's going to stop dumping. Thing is disgusting. Do they move on earnings? No. 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 I mean, moved there. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, you got the wick, but then at the same time, like going into this earnings, I mean, that's the only thing I would expect is maybe a potential recovery. You got a good box, sitting right up against that floor. You really didn't touch that wick. So whenever I see empty space, that's usually where I target. Like 192.60 would be, one of my first targets here. But that's all dependent on, again, does the stock even move on earnings? And that seems to be like, if you actually look right here, you get a big move out of there. And that comes out of some really intense consolidation with empty space all the way up to 350. So you would have to have definitely when something starts to look like this, it almost becomes like uh the contracts really are going to be the main reason that I would try, So that's 4 rejections today alone on Tesla. NATO shoots down 4th Iran missile over Turkey. Iran arrests 46 in Starlink sales network, seizes device. Oh shit. Powell very optimistic about medium and long term. AI is making more people more productive. Blah 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 blah. I don't. No one checked it today. What did Google do? I gave the analysis last night. It's sitting flat down there. See, that one looks like it still needs to come and tap 270, bro. Yeah, for sure. Wonder if someone's gonna say something today to if we sit here and consolidate like that with that empty space up above. Damn. See a gnarly drop on IWM here if we lose this floor. 241.50. You could see a new low down to that 240s that we were looking at. I'm gonna leave this chop alone.